It's by Jamari. It says he got humbled, pertaining to Sneako. So let's go ahead and check this out and see what we got here.
At this point, it has been over a year since Sneako went full red pill demon and was banned from YouTube.
Shut up with your feminism. Yeah, come here. Come here.
And while at first he was still going semi-viral and was garnering some new fans, I think the situation where he threatened Charlie, aka Moist Critical, was very damaging to his overall.
See, I remember that shit. That was the whole like, it's a mag, not a clip type thing going on. Anytime someone, here's the rule I live by, right? Because I'm pro Second Amendment. And if you feel it's necessary to be flashing a gun to threaten somebody because you want to make a point, especially when they haven't done anything directly to put your life in danger or threaten you, like that's just a wild way to be. Like, the audacity to think that you can just like if you're trying to flex on somebody, you think waving your gun around is the thing to make the point when you have no idea whether or not this person owns firearms is just weird. It's like you could say that that's not the flex you're going for, but it's like, why else would you do that? I guess, but it's just a weird way to flex using a gun, because it's just like, okay, but if you're gonna wave it around at me like that, then are you gonna do something, or are we just showing that we're both pro Second Amendment? Like, what's the point of this, right? What's the point of that? Because that's especially over internet shit. Over internet shit, when you're not even living like that, right? That's a crazy way to be.
Overall reputation online.
You absolute buffoon. What you have there is not clips. These are mags.
Also, going viral for getting cucked is a tough place to be when you were constantly trying to preach to other men about how they should live their life.
I guess he wasn't exactly threatening him. He just mentioned the whole clips thing. He's like, watch these clips or whatever the heck he said. But the point is, why even bring up guns? Why even bring them up into the conversation of something that's not even being like that hostile?
Like missionary legs up, yeah.
Oh no! That's such a oh no!
Was he staring at her like in her eyes?
Yeah, like deep eye contact.
Oh no!
Deep eye contact. I'm like feeling traumatic thoughts, like seeing her with another person. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I think it's something everybody should do just to test. I know.
You lost me there, bud. You lost me there. He said everybody should do it. Excuse me, sir? Everybody should do what? Everybody should do what? Everybody should let their girl do what? Nope. No, thank you. I'll pass on that one. You got that, buddy. That's all you. You own that whole territory. I'll pass on that.
Oh!
You know what?
No!
Combine this with constant posting onto Twitter, basically trying to rage bait people with whatever outlandish statements popped into his brain that day, and the gimmick tends to get old pretty quick. You also cannot forget the time that he essentially called all of his viewers losers, and straight up admitted to pandering to the Red Pill community for money and clout.
The Red Pill is dying. It's over. And I got in at the right time, hit the wave at the right time. You know, I was Red Pill raging when the Red Pill was blowing up, so it was perfect, you know, screaming at a camera, wake up! Wake up! And then you guys kind of get off on just seeing people like owning, it's like when you're 14 and you watch Ben Shapiro owns libs. It's like not even anything improving about it. It's just WWE for nerd incels.
So for the most part over the last year, Sneako has been losing relevance. But
that is kind of crazy to say to your fan base that like, that you are pandering to them, right? Like that's kind of wild. Why even do that? Because even if you are, it's like, why do you feel the need to, like, I don't know. Everybody should just be being themselves, but like, if that's the hustle that you're going for, why do you feel the need to tell the people that you're hustling them, unless you have some weird narcissistic complex in which you need the people to know? It's like a Batman villain or any James Bond villain that's like, and here is my plan. Ha 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 ha. You're such a buffoon. You never saw this coming. Like, what, bro? Why are you telling...
But recently, he has been in the news cycle once again, and he doesn't seem too happy about it, as he's constantly been getting ignored by other content creators. And this Ignore Sneako arc all really started a couple of days ago, when he tried to approach Steve Will Do It at the poker table, and Steve seemingly wanted nothing to do with him.
On here.
Can I get a cigarette?
Are you chain smoking or?
Yeah. Can I get one too? Oh.
All right.
Damn, man.
Well, bro, listen. That may have felt like he faded him, but like, he kind of faded him, I guess. I guess he kind of faded him, but like, bro, I used to smoke 2 packs a day. Listen, I don't even like cigarettes. Make me sick nowadays, but like, back in the day, you did not. You know, it's one thing for one person to ask for a cigarette, then it's another thing for the second person to ask. Then everybody's just asking you for cigarettes, and if you say one, if you give a mouse a cookie, right? Except for if you give a mouse a cookie, the whole block wants one too. You know what I mean? And clearly, bro's like in the middle of a game. Like, that's probably a high stakes game. He's focused in. He's locked in, bro. He's locked in. You talking about, bro, you worry about cigarettes right now? I got this. I'm trying to make this money. I'm trying to make this money. You asking me about cigarettes? Bro. So I get why he got ignored. I mean, I get why he got ignored.
I don't know.
Because I'm on Rumble or something?
What's your problem? This is what we were.
So you can see it there clear as day. Steve just straight up ignores him. He acts like Sneako is not even in the room. And I think this broke Sneaky's little heart.
But I'll keep it 100 though. Like, I've been in situations like that. Like sometimes it's the vibe, you know. I mean, I've been into like the scene where you're at a house party, you drink and shit like that. One of the homies might be like, "Yo, can I get a beer?" Then he's like, "Yeah." Then you're like, "Yo, you care if I get one or if it's a shot from somebody's personal bottle?" You know what I mean? And then you never want to be the second guy asking. It's never fun to be the second guy asking because then it turns the whole entire atmosphere into begging. You know what I mean? It turns the whole atmosphere into begging. Nobody wants to be the guy begging. But, you know what I mean? You can't do much about it, but just keep it pushing and get your own shit.
I don't know what's going on.
Because listen, as somebody who used to smoke cigarettes, somebody who's been there asking for a cigarette before, right? And I'm not pocket watching or nothing, but I'm saying everybody that's in this clip is fully capable of buying their own cigarettes. So if it's like, well, bro, if you smoke, buy a pack. Why don't you got a pack? And if you smoke nonchalant, decide if you're 1 foot in or 1 foot out. Because maybe you just don't need one. He might have just did him a favor. In fact, he did him a favor by not giving him that cigarette. Because if he was a smoker, he would have had his own pack. It's as simple as that.
Hey.
It's like he very subtly told him to f*** off just with his body language.
After all this shit. Okay, I'm bored. No, I'm good. That's a lot telling me not to smoke.
You just asked for.
I know, but he ignored
that
me,
was
so that was a sign from Allah.
And it's funny to me that he says that Steve ignoring his request for the cigarette is a sign from Allah that he shouldn't smoke. When in reality,
But listen, bro, it might be. I ain't gonna hate on him. It might be. That's what I would take it as. You know what I mean? It's just a sign, bro. You don't need it. He ain't wrong about that. But let's see what Jamari here has to say.
it's more of a sign that Steve isn't fucking with him. And this is the point in the video where, from my perspective, Sneako actually took a rare W, as he went into the octagon with former middleweight UFC champion Sean Strickland, as they had set up this sparring session, and for the first couple of minutes, Sean just really let Sneako do his thing, just kind of playing a very loose defense. I mean, you guys gotta remember, this is essentially a novice versus a world champion, at least in some sort of fighting sport.
Bro, but like, what possessed him to do this, right? Like, that's crazy. I don't know if there was like trash talking happening behind the scenes or what, but like, listen, I don't know what's about to happen here, but I give it to him. I give it to him for even stepping in the ring. But why? Is it because you just wanted to see what it's like to fight somebody that's in the UFC? I mean, I guess, I don't know if they're homies or not. But at a certain point, you got to decide whether or not you're a danger to yourself because of your decisions.
So he stands in, he lets Sneako do his thing for a while, and then around 3 minutes in is when Sean actually decides to let the hands fly, and he essentially punches Sneako in the face around 50 times.
Let's count them, chat. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 21, 22, 23, 24, 24. Sheesh. God damn, bro. God damn, my boy. Damn, bro. Why? Why, bro? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Like, that's what he needs to ask. Why are we doing this? For who? Is this for masculinity? Is this for... What is this for?
I mean, this was essentially like seeing a shark smelling blood in the water. And while I'm sure he was not punching him to his full power, for Sneako to stand in and take that many shots off of his chin and not go down against this former world champion has to be the biggest W that he's taken in a very long time.
Listen, if there's one thing people should get from this, right? You don't have to prove yourself to anybody. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody except yourself. I guess if it's for you, then by all means, get your ass beat. But as far as everybody else is concerned, you don't have to do these things, bro. You don't have to do these things.
Long time. And there were some people out there actually trying to clown Sneako for this. Like, if anything, I don't think Sean had to go so crazy on his ass. After this, he shared this tweet where he says love speech, and honestly, the face is not looking too bad for getting punched that many times. He also shared this where he says, I gave you guys the best content I was possible.
Hold on.
And honestly, the face...
What y'all think, chat? That face look bad or that face look all right, considering the circumstances? That face look bad or that face look all right? I don't think it's that bad, you know what I mean? Though we always come back to why. We always come back to why.
It's not looking too bad for getting punched that many times. He also shared this where he says, I gave you guys the best content I was possibly capable of today, yet the comments is just filled with complaining and crying. You see how they are blackballing me. If you want good content, I need your support now more than ever. We will win. I can't do it alone. Love Speech 2024. And then he also shares this picture of his bloodied face. And so now that we're done talking about his W, let's talk about some of his L's, as he got completely ignored by the two biggest streamers in the world, Kai Cenat and Speed.
Can you please wait with Sneako? Yes.
Okay, perfect. They're with you?
Yes.
Have fun, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is the face of a man who is about salty as f***. I mean, not only did they ignore him, they went out of their way to make it known. Like, we are not f***ing with you. And this is the point where Sneako started confronting various people, kind of asking them, like, why don't they like me? And even a moderator out here had to put him in check.
I mean, business is business, and you don't know the inside of things, so it's like, not Jamar specifically, I'm just speaking in general terms, but, you know, I mean, if they ignored him, they ignored him. It might have been because of clashing brands and ideals, you know what I mean? But everybody reserves the right to work with who they want, you know what I mean? I'll never, it is what it is, especially when you're in the realm of like a lot of these people saying and doing so many controversial things. It's like, that's the consequence to the controversial actions. It's like, yeah, you're not playing it safe and you're trying to get out there and get that bag and do what you got to do. But it's like, you got to remember, every time you do something controversial, it's not just the crowd that's going to have a reaction. You're having a reaction with all the brands and collaborators, competition, brands, everybody else. You're doing that to everything, you know what I mean? And the thing about that is, it's like, as he said earlier, he said he was pandering to the red pill thing, right? So even if the things that he represented in the past isn't who he is now, and they don't like who he was in the past, you still have to take accountability for your past actions, you know what I mean? I was gonna say to some degree, but I mean, that's just how it works, you know? So, I mean, if they ignored him, they ignored him. But, you know, I mean, again, also, it's like, who's that person that said, can you stand by Sneako? Who's that person? Because what authority do they have to be like, hey, stop and stand next to Sneako? I mean, it was probably a request, not a demand, but I'm just saying, we got shit to do, my boy. I got shit to do, my boy. You know?
What do you mean? Why do you think? Getting ignored? Like, what's going on? What do you think is happening? I don't know. They just acting weird, bro.
But check this out.
Like, we are not f***ing with you. And this is the point where Sneako started out here had to put him in check.
But see, look, wait. Oh, okay. Look at the dap. Look at the dap, bro. It's like, you know what I mean? He came up asking him, why are you being ignored and stuff like that? What's going on and all that? But like, look at the dap. Look at that dap, bro. Look at that dap. What are we doing here? What is this? I guess he had food in his hand, actually. So I'm not going, he probably had the bag in one hand and then, you know, if he was eating nuts, he got nuts in the other hand. So, I mean.
What do you mean? Why do you think? Getting ignored? Like, what's going on? What do you think is happening? I don't know. They just acting weird, bro. What do you think it is? I'm trying to figure it out. What's your analysis? Because I can't understand it. It might be because you're Chinese.
He said it's because you're Chinese.
Why would you do that?
And in that moment, this head moderator saw why no one's fucking with him. I mean, getting egoed by a Twitch mod is insane. And then they would continue on to
What did he say?
I saw you suck. Why would you do that? What do you think it is? I'm trying to figure it out. What's your analysis? Because I can't.
Oh, what? Did they mic him? Oh, they mic'd him.
Getting ignored? Like, what's going on? What do you think is happening? I don't know. They just acting weird, bro. What do you think it is? I'm trying to figure it out. What's your analysis? Because I can't understand it. It might be because you're Chinese. I saw you suck. Why would you do that?
That's crazy.
And in that moment,
That's
this head
crazy.
moderator saw why no one's fucking with him. I mean, getting egoed
Yeah.
by a Twitch mod
Yeah.
is insane. And then they
If there was ever a reason, bro, if there was ever a reason, I don't know that dude's history or why he was doing what he said he was doing and if he was, but I'm like, I don't know if he was, you know what I mean? He might have just been messing with him, but if you needed a
would
reason.
continue on to kick him out of this influencer VIP section at this event.
All right, we're getting Frank Castle. We're getting kicked. Good to see you, bro. Text me. Did we do something? What's going on? It's just insane. Like, everyone on that side, none of them are Rumble streamers. Nobody. I'm the Rumble streamer at a Rumble event. They're putting me on this side. How does that make any sense?
And for someone who seems so dependent on networking, and it's pretty obvious that he really cares about what other people's perception of him is, you know this hurt this man's feelings. I mean, he even had to turn to Logan Paul's yes man for some advice, saying, "Why don't they love me, Mike?"
They don't me. What is that? And you must know.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sure, bro. I think everybody probably has a different reason for it. I'm not quite sure. You know, I think you take shots at people, and when you take shots at people, obviously they're gonna mark that in their
A
mental
lot of people that I don't
checklist.
take shots at.
I don't know. I can only speak for myself. Every debate that we've had, you've said some stuff that was over the line, but
Yeah.
everybody does that. Sometimes it's jokes. Sometimes it's just taking shots to try to get people to, yo, look at me, look at me, look at me, what you have to do, bro.
There's a lot of fake people in the industry, Myron, but I gotta give respect to you, Fresh, Arab, of course. Like, you know, a lot of people have snaked me, man. There's like people that I used to be friends with for years, and like now, you know, even people that like you stand up for when they're at their lowest point. As soon as they're up, and as soon as they don't need you, they turn their back on you, literally. One of the biggest.
I mean, I literally think this man is heartbroken.
And in this internet game, it's so easy to like have your friendship fall apart, especially if you read and listen to everything that people say.
Yeah, facts, of course.
But bro,
People
I've
are gay,
seen
man.
so much fake in this industry, especially like when I come to Vegas and LA.
I mean, if you expected realness from Los Angeles and the people who hang out there, the clout demons, you were sadly mistaken. I guess the core message of this video is just...
And see, that's just the atmosphere. I mean, like, I'm from the East Coast, right? I lived out in Vegas for 2 years, and, like, there's good and bad people everywhere. But, like, one thing you got to remember is, like, when you're on the West Coast, coming from an East Coast perspective, it's like And I mean, on the East Coast, we got a little bit of it when if you're in the bigger cities and stuff. Like if you're in a place like New York or LA, right? Specifically LA. Like, and it's not that there's anything wrong with the people, but it's in the sense, it's like people from the East Coast want to make it out to LA because everybody wants to make it out to LA because that's the land of dreams and shit. That's where you make shit happen, right? But the dynamic there with the common person is just a little different because from birth, that's what they're thinking about. You hit a certain level when you reach and you start thinking about those things when you're on the East Coast, right? After you hit a certain age, you start thinking about dreams and aspirations. When you're in LA and you're born in LA, I know this personally. I mean, I could be, feel free to disagree, but it's like, it's already an ingrained thing. Everybody's already trying to get somewhere and do something. And I'm not going to say use people because it's not so much use, but they're trying to get ahead and get what they need to get. You know what I mean? So it's like, in the simplest terms, it's like things are a little bit more superficial out there. So it's like, especially if you're already in the industry, it's like, what do you expect, bro? It's like, this is what we're doing. When I'm at an event, cool, I might be hanging out doing my thing, but if I'm not where I want to be yet, then I'm there for the networking and to have fun. But the job, the hustle, the dream comes first, because you got to remember, before you made it, it was all about the hustle and the grind. Once you make it, if you're still not exactly where you want to be, every move is still the hustle and the grind. I mean, it is what it is, but like, I don't understand how anybody could expect anything different. I think bro just gotta get back to the grind. You know what I mean? Get back to focusing on what you wanted to do. You know what I mean? Don't be worrying about people messing with you. And if you want people to mess with you more, you gotta be more approachable. You gotta be a more approachable person. You gotta be more of a people person. You gotta work with people. You know what I mean? You can't be just popping in and just trying to interview people every 3 seconds. It's almost like paparazzi vibes, but what do I know? I'm just a guy. But I think Fortnite is done. So